it has been acknowledged that peace has gradually returned to communities in the southern parts of Kaduna State, an area which was for years afflicted by widespread violence and attendant loss of human lives and property. Now, much of this carnage in question was to a lot of stakeholders both within and outside Kaduna State, down to the actions or inactions of the immediate former governor Nasir El-Rufai. However, in the aftermath of his terming office, the former governor has taken pains to explain measures he took to safeguard the lives and welfare of residents in the entire Kaduna State. Now, for a quick chat around this, we're now being joined by Reverend Joseph Hayab, who is the chairman of the Christian Association of Nigeria for the 19 northern states, as well as the Federal Capital Territory. Thank you so much for joining us today on Newsday.
Thank you for having me. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Now, you have spoken extensively about this, specifically stating that most people of southern Kaduna are now comfortable with the new dispensation's friendly and accessible leadership style, unlike, the previous administration. Now, I would like you to give us some perspective as to the difference in tone in the way communication is served to the people and the way in which the people relate to governance, including their welfare and safety.
Thank you once again. Considering the experience my people went through in the past 8 years of the reign of Alhaji Nasir El-Rufai or Malam Nasir El-Rufai as governor, today we can say we are in heaven, because at that time we were virtually burying 20, 30, 40, and even more in mass grave from one community to another community. Don't forget, it was during his tenure that even the people in Brenengwari, in the other side of Kaduna State, terror was the order of the day. They couldn't go to farm. The fact is that in that 8 years, over 375 people were killed in Brenengwari area. And in southern Kaduna, it can even say double that number. People could not go to farm. Children were being kidnapped. Parents were being kidnapped. The trauma was so much for people. But it's just 2 years, 3 months now. The situation has completely changed. And many people ask us this question: what changed? What happened? Simply the attitude, the role of governance. When governments disconnect with the people, when government becomes even the mouthpiece of criminals who torment our citizens, then we are in a problem. Sadly, this is not what is going on now. Unfortunately, this was what happened in the last 8 years, but now things have changed. The fact about it is that in the past few months, if not even a year or two, we can't even record even this kind of incidences again. We're forgetting when we were ever called for any mass burial. That is to show that if you have responsible leaders, leaders who care about the people, leaders who speak about the people, leaders who defend the people, criminals will not have a field day.
Especially considering that there have been, oftentimes there's a very common parlance, I would describe it as that when insecurity thrives, there is obviously a lackadaisical response in tackling these issues. How would you assess, Governor El-Rufai's post-sentiments of some of the issues and security lapses that plagued Kaduna State, especially considering that he has mentioned that he truly does not regret how he ran the state at the time?
Every responsible leader will not make such an utterance, because you cannot say you do not regret the pains, you do not regret the killings, you do not regret the trauma that your people went through during your leadership. If you say that, that shows you don't even have a heart that cares, a heart that shows concern. But let's put it in this perspective. It is even sad to hear El-Rufai today accusing the current government of paying bandits. After all, he was the father of payments to bandits, payments to criminals who were killing. He even said on television that he went out of Nigeria to give them money. And so if there is even anything there, then that shows that they learned it from El-Rufai. But from our research, we realize that it's just his propaganda because he is not happy that peace has returned to a place where he neglects, for a community where he abandoned, to a people where he do not care, and he say he had no regret for whatever happened to them. That's why he is now coming up with so many kind of stories to further confuse people. He has no evidence to show that such thing happened, but if it ever happened, probably they learn from him. So he should publicly come out and apologize to Nigeria for setting a precedent that some people are following. But let me also say something clear to Nigerians. I think it is wrong for a Rufai to turn the office of the National Security Advisor of Nigeria into an office of exchanging words and saying things that he has not even proved. He may have his differences with the NSA, but that shouldn't be an issue that he brings because he is bringing an important office of Nigeria to disrepute just because to settle a personal score. Our nation cannot run like that, and that's why I want to appeal to the Nigerian government. The reason why we are where we are today because government have never taken decisive action on people who instigate violence, on people who promote violence, on people who come to national media and speak to further create confusion. And similarly, bandits and criminals who have been tormenting citizens. The law have a way of dealing with them. They just go about talking to people who probably have some political differences. These are kind of people that the law should take its course upon them because such kind of utterance is jeopardizing even the security success that is being achieved because we can say clearly from Southern Kaduna that there is success, there is a shift from yesterday. Today, we are smiling. Today, we are happy. We are no longer burying people. We are no longer paying huge ransom as it has been claimed in some quarters because we knew what we paid during the last administration to bail and bring back our people home who were taken for no just reason.
That's one more question. Well, the previous governor also advocated a shoot-to-kill policy towards bandits especially, whereas, there is a current Kaduna peace model that emphasizes dialogue, inclusion, and trust building. Now, how do these very different security strategies affect the way local communities in Kaduna cooperate with the government on peace and security issues?
Yeah, you see, in the first place, we cannot address security with just kinetic approach. We have to also bring the non-kinetic approach, and I think that's what our governor is doing. But I know very well that the situation in Birnin is not even the governor's program. It was actually initiated by the community themselves, and they only needed the government support to achieve that in finding solution. Because these criminals are not spirit, they are human beings. They can be reached, they can be talked upon, and efforts are being done to make them see the need to drop their weapons, to make them see the need to stop the evil, to make them see the need to stop tormenting fellow citizens, because it is not good for them, neither is it good for the country. And if they have any grievances, they should speak out. And I think that understanding is coming and is yielding fruit. And so the kidnapping has drastically reduced. The killings have drastically reduced. Though there is no non-negotiation in Southern Kaduna, but there are efforts by security agencies that is yielding positive results. So what we need to do at this time is to support government, to support security agencies, so that this new lease of life, this new peace that we are enjoying, we will continue to enjoy. But sadly, people who fail to give us peace are not happy with this new development, are instead coming back again to instigate and make insinuation that will further create confusion. And that's why we are speaking to Nigerians, especially people in Kaduna State, whether you're a Christian or a Muslim, from the north or from the south. There should be no reason for us to be divided at this time. What we need to do is to further unite and find a lasting solution to our problem. If we do not solve our problems ourselves, no one will. The man who couldn't solve problems for us cannot now come again and further divide us or instigate us. We will know that he doesn't mean well for us, and we have to be careful with that.
Thank you so much for your time. This has been an interesting conversation.